Hello, I'm Robbie James and this is UCAS Street View. Now, when you start the next step of your journey, you're probably going to have lots of questions like, how do I try and manage those first day nerves? Where do I stay? Where do I eat? How do I budget? What services and support is available to me? Well, I don't really know the answers to those questions, but thankfully, we've been speaking to some students and hearing from some experts around the UK who do. What are your thoughts on your accommodation? Clearly, the less said the better. Joining us from the studio, we have a careers advisor, a student ambassador, and an admissions expert to answer all your questions. How were those first few days for you, Connor?
Oh, exciting. Definitely exciting. Yeah. You know, it's a new place, you get to move in, make the room your own, all that kind of stuff.
Mum was crying,
Oh, no.
of course.
Were you?
I might have shed one tear. Yeah, just a little one.
It was scary.
I got lucky. I had quite a good corridor. Everyone was really active and knocking on everyone's doors.
The general attitude at the start of the year for everyone is that they want to meet new people, they want to speak to people, and so that makes it a lot easier, especially for someone, you know, if you're a bit more introverted or if you struggle, then everyone's gonna have a good attitude and they're gonna be nice to you.
The most important thing when you arrived, what was kind of the top of your list thing that you needed to get done?
I want to make new friends. I want to see new people. Am I the only one who's lost, or are we in the same boat or not? You know,
there are plenty of facilities about that get people out, you know, like bars and places, and then you start to meet people, especially in freshers. First few weeks, everyone's going everywhere, every night. You're always doing things.
Usually the first week of every year, all of the societies will do kind of like taster sessions. You can just go and see what it's like. I've done loads of those. I did West African drumming, pole dancing, great fun. Kendo, there's ridiculous numbers of societies.
People always say this, you just will meet people and you think how on earth am I going to do that? But you just do, just walking around talking to people.
Yeah, what were your essentials? Do you remember that day of packing and coming to university? What was the first thing you put in your suitcase?
I put a rice cooker and an air fryer because they were most essential, because I don't want to be cooking pasta and everything every day.
honestly, my mom made this huge list. I just followed it.
Lots of extension cables, that's a big one. You're going to be plugging in way more than you think. You're always going to have mates who are going to want to charge stuff.
Yeah, so don't worry about books, stationery, just bring extension cable.
A speaker.
Lots and lots of pictures of my family, my friends, my animals.
Yeah.
Really think about what essentials you use on a daily basis, and it's never too late to buy it once you're arriving.
Okay, we're going to talk all things money. That includes budgeting, that includes student finance, and thankfully I have Cameron and Connor to help me. I presume you guys both applied for student finance. How was that?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's quite a long process. I'd say get in there early. You need to fill in all sorts of forms. You get your parents to do stuff as well. But also when it comes to budgeting and stuff, there's a lot of tools out there you can get. You put in where you're living, the city, and they average what people tend to spend in that city. So that's quite a good one.
How do you find managing the budget?
Pretty good.
Oh, the first month was the worst. I blew up like 200 pounds or something on food, and it's I need to get my act together.
Decide today, am I going to buy the expensive shoe or am I going to eat? Choose food over everything.
Even choose?
Yes.
I learned the hard way from the first week. I didn't have any money because I spent all of them. My parents were like, you have to learn to budget your money. So I making a sheet in Excel and budgeting my money for every week.
My best advice would probably be don't go shopping when you're hungry.
That's a good one.
That is always a bad move.
So we've spoken about managing your money and starting student life. Let's now dive in a bit more to the student experience with those that know it best. A lot of things change, your environment changes, accommodation changes. Also, does the kind of actual learning aspect change as well to anything you've done before?
Yeah, it's entirely different from what I've done before. So you have to unlearn, relearn. Really, really exciting, and it could be challenging sometimes. Yeah.
It's very different in that obviously you're going from having teachers that, you know, communicate with you, not necessarily one-on-one, but in little groups, 30 people in a class or so, to having a lecturer that's 200 people, and you know there's very little interaction there. But obviously I'd say the standard of teaching is a lot higher, and you have a lot more resources available.
Yeah, and it is a bit of an upscale, isn't it? If you're going to uni, in terms of the amount of people, Neha, that you're with. How do you kind of manage that? Do you still reach out and you can send emails and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think our uni is pretty good with that. I always feel comfortable emailing my professors, and I think they're pretty helpful with that. But I feel like because the classes are so big, it gets a bit overwhelming to speak up in class. So I think it helps to just speak with the professors one-on-one.
I want to talk about student unions because they're quite important. Why? What do you use the student union for?
The student union in Belfast has a bar, and there are plenty of lounges for studying. It's really good. There are computer areas, and then obviously the bar is very good for nighttime, for going out for drinks and stuff.
So ours is like right in front of where I have my lectures. So if I'm in between lectures, I'll just go there for lunch and like get lunch in the shop. So it's kind of handy.
Why did you choose to live on campus?
That was the best decision of my life. Living on campus is the easiest thing for any student. There's a lot of facilities that make it easier. You know, you're late for class, it doesn't take you up to 5 minutes to get to your class. You need to eat, there's stores close by.
What advice would you give to people who are deciding to not live on campus?
Try to still socialize with other students as much as possible, for instance by joining societies. That's what I did. So I joined the media society, and also in my third year I joined figure skating society, so I actually started figure skating on local ring.
That's a niche society as well. Is that the most niche society here at NTU?
No, I don't think it is. I mean, I think there were actually like up to 100 students in the ice rink, you know, every week. So yeah, it was very popular.
Have we got any niche societies than figure skating?
I don't think so.
No?
I think that's pretty niche.
It's niche and it's a good one. Now finally we are asking where and who you can turn to for help and support. Well, there are loads of people that can help you, so students, experts, over to you. And in terms of the support that you have available here as well, are there plenty of places and people that you can reach out to?
Yeah, definitely. We've got a whole wellbeing team. We've got wardens that you can go to if you're having any issues. And we have a therapy dog called Ralph.
There's a lot of information online, and I also called and just spoke to people from NTU to just get extra information that I needed. They were always happy to help. So
It feels quite lonely at first if you don't know where to look and where to go. I really think you find the most help in your friends. Everyone is going through the same thing. You can't really just pop home for the weekend, if you live far away. So you're kind of forced to stay here. All of the friends are in the same boat, so you're kind of just all in it together, which makes it easier.
And you've come quite a few miles down south from County Durham, which is where you're from. What's that been like, getting to grips with being away from home?
It was hard at first. It was really difficult. I got very homesick, but then I kind of found a group of friends and settled in a little bit more, and throughout my 3 years, I've just felt more at home than ever.
Good thing is you get to speak with your family. You have phones now. It's not as it used to be in the olden days when you'd have to send mail, letter, and
you don't have to do that 3 weeks.
Exactly, you don't have to do 3 weeks.
The biggest thing I was thinking about in my first year was that everyone is in the same boat. Yeah. So not to be worried about people thinking that you're going to be a little bit odd or anything like that, because you will find the people that you're supposed to be friends with.
I'm going to put you both on the spot a bit here. Yeah. What is your one highlight of university so far? It can be anything.
You have to come back to me on that.
Honestly, just hanging out with my flatmates. In our accommodation, we had a clubhouse. We would just be playing snooker there or table tennis, and they had all sorts of stuff. So
I've given you a bit of time, Callum.
I've gone. It's not a moment per se, but I think it's just the people I've met. In terms of I've met so many great people in university that I will stay with for the rest of my life, and it's really changed my outlook on a lot of things in general.
So I didn't actually go to university. I did an apprenticeship, but it looks like so much fun. Tell me about it. What was your experience like when you went off to uni?
Yeah, very, very similar to everything that everyone covered in that video. It will be the most exciting time of your life. You'll meet so many new friends, you'll join so many new societies and sports clubs. It really, really is such a sociable time for people.
So did you find that making friends, obviously everyone in the video said that they found it really easy. Would you say that was the same for you, Tom?
Yeah, definitely. There's so many opportunities for you to make friends. Your flatmates, your course mates, join sports clubs and societies, and even just meeting people in student union spaces, like the bars the guys were speaking about. So there's plenty of opportunities for you.
I think one thing that a few students touched upon in the video that is important to think about as well is that cost of living piece, and students a bit worried about those finances and budgeting. What kind of advice and support is available on campuses for students?
So every university knows that this is, for a lot of people, the first time away from home, especially if they're international students, could be the first experience within the UK. So every university and student unions will have different wellbeing advisors and advisors that they can help with things like budgeting, mental health, living away from home. So there will be a good support network for you once you're there.
What about getting a job at uni? Is that something that you would recommend, and most people usually do that?
Yeah, so I got a job in my first year, absolutely loved it, and that led to the job that I'm in now with the Students' Union. So Students' Unions would be a great starting place for you to look, so they'll run the clubs and the bars and everything like that on campus. So that's a good starting point. But also a lot of universities will have like student ambassador schemes too, and that is really, really good and quite flexible too. So yeah, those are good schemes to look for.
And if someone wants to get a part-time job not at uni, is there people that can help them? Like, do universities have job boards and things like that that students can use?
Yeah, so a lot of universities will have career departments, either within like their faculties or as a university-wide thing. So they can definitely help you, point you in the right direction.
I have a lot of students that ask about Freshers Week, big part of the joining university experience. What would your advice be there?
Definitely attend the Freshers Fair that will happen within the first 2 weeks, I'd say. There you'll have every sports club, every society that you can have a look, see what takes your fancy, join new clubs, and that's a really, really great way of making friends. Not every sports club and society will be massive party goers and out and things like that, so a lot of them will run sober socials, and so those are great ways and are great alternatives too if you're not into that drinking culture.
So I think a lot of the students in the video spoke about the social side, but what about the kind of admin side of joining university? So kind of enrolling, getting your ID card, those types of things. Are there processes for that?
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, quite a big admin task. A lot of it will be done online before you actually move to your university. So that'll be things like uploading your passports, uploading your rights to study, your visas, things like that. And once you get to university, you'll probably just need a simple ID card, pick up your university ID, and that's when you'll be able to log into like the intranet, your student account, and things like that.
What about moving into hall? So is there a way to get to know your flatmates before you get there? I think that's a big concern for a lot of students living with people they've never met before.
Yeah, so a lot of universities will have certain schemes. A lot of students' unions will also have certain schemes that you can meet your flatmates and form like group chats with them before. So that's a great way to meet them. Also, it's a great way to decide who's bringing what. So you don't all turn up with 7 toasters, 4 microwaves. You can sort of spread it out evenly.
What about for international students that obviously can't bring a toaster, a microwave, etc.? What is in place for those guys?
Yeah, so a lot of universities and again, a lot of students' unions will be running like trips in the weeks just before that they start, so they can go out to local places, buy what they need to buy. That can be from homeware, but also like the first shop, so everything's there with them, so they don't have to bring it over.
And I think one of the most important things for students as well is about not panicking. If you are moving a long distance away from home, be it internationally or across the UK, you know, as one of the students said in the video, you can go buy it, you can go pick it up from somewhere. It doesn't mean you've got to drive 7 hours back home or take another flight because you've forgotten your favourite towel. Get a new towel, it'll be fine.
So there we have it. If you have any other questions about clearing or results day or preparing to leave school, please reach out to us for all the help and advice you need at ucas.com, and good luck. I believe in you.